We're in a transition where we are going to go into a place of stable and steady growth, and that's going to be that's going to be our focus.
All right, Michael Lee is our market watcher this Wednesday morning, joining us now. Is that how you see it, Mike?
No.
Right.
Absolutely not. We are. There's a high probability we are already in a recession, and the Atlanta Fed is going to come out on Monday and most likely tell us that their GDP tracker, which tracks GDP growth in real time, so as data is reported, it simply tracks along, compiles it, and forward projects it into the rest of the quarter. So where we'll be right now, that's at zero. We had a declining economy in the first quarter, so I'd say the cost of oil and the energy policy of this administration is what is causing much of the economic pain and much of the inflation. So in CPI, in core CPI, food and energy is not calculated, but certainly their devotion to green energy, which is a farce. Just for the record, green energy represents 18% of our overall consumption of energy. The other 82% is fossil fuels. So if you have a war on fossil fuels, you make everyone's life more expensive and harder. That's translating dramatically to the cost of food. So we are there right now, and you're at a point with consumer sentiment where typically 6 months ahead, consumers feel that they're going to be making more money and that things are going to be better. We are in one of the rare times in history where they think 6 months from now it's going to be worse. So we are, if we're not in a recession right now, one is coming any moment.
Is there any stock that you are buying right now?
Yeah, Stuart, great question. So Mike Wilson from Morgan Stanley, who's known as kind of like the perma bear or the darkest man on Wall Street, I think had a great quote out today where he says, once a recession starts, that's when the market's bottoming. Right, and that's when it's time to step in. So we're already down close to 20% in the S&P 500 in a very short period of time. So now it's time, if you are lucky enough to sell in December, now it's time to start looking at bargains, because the top quality companies typically bottom ahead of the overall market. So your Googles, your Apples, your Amazons, all bottom ahead of time.
What have you bought?
So right now, I'm still looking in this energy infrastructure, so the Exxon Mobils, the XLE, the OIH, and then start in the cybersecurity, which is just it's an industry that companies can't afford to cut back on no matter where the economy is. It's growing. So you can look at a Palo Alto Networks and a CrowdStrike. Okay. That's where I'd start to be looking now. And then also your Googles of the world that have come down dramatically. They'll typically bottom before everything else, and I think they'll do all right on the other side.
Okay, dipping your toes in the water. Got it. Mike Lee, thank you, sir. We'll see you again real soon.
Thanks, Stuart.
We got